We take children, little kids, and we're very light-handed with them because they're kids. And when they're 4 years old and they're yelling in a restaurant, you know, it's like, well, they're kids. I mean, it's just a child. And when somebody gives us a dirty look on the airplane and the 6-year-old is crying or pouting or, you know, kicking the seat, most of us, we go, well, you know, what do you expect? It's just a child. It's just a child. You know, we got to let these kids be kids and enjoy their childhood. And it's just a child. But then as they get a little older, you know, they get 10 or 11, we begin to tighten up on them, all right? Our control of them, we tighten up because we know, hey, he's 10 years old. He shouldn't be doing this stuff. And so we tighten up a little bit. Then we tighten up a little more when they're 12 and when they're 13. And they're 14, you know, around 13 or 14, people start telling us, oh, here you go. There you go, you're fixing to be in for it now because you're entering these teen years and, you know, they get real rebellious, real persnickety, and they don't want to hear anything from you. And so, but here you go. Well, you're ready for it. And so what you do, you tighten up a little more because now you're able to reason with them a little bit and you go, hey, you know, dude, you're 13. I mean, seriously? You're going to act like this? You're 13. What's wrong? And then they turn 14 and 15. And at 15 we go, hey, you're 15 years old. What were you thinking that you did? And then 16, 17. Then at 17, it's like, you're about to leave home. I can't believe that you're, and so you will stay in your, and we really tighten up as they get 16 and 17 because we know this person's about to leave home and go out into society, and we can sense, we can tell they're not ready to move. And we hear these conversations. I don't know if he's ready to move out on his own. I can't believe. And we're tightening up, of course, because we're tightening up. Man, they're pulling away because they're like, you never used to treat me like this. And now you're just like hammering me, and you never used to. So they don't want anything to do with us. When they do get a chance to leave, they're gone. And they're not remotely prepared to live life as an adult. And not only are they not prepared, our relationship with them is not good. Now, this is what most people do. And it makes logical sense that you would treat a child like a child. And that you would get a little tougher as they grow older and begin to understand more. That makes logical sense. It's just wrong. All right? Because here is what works. What works is to remember, we are not trying to raise great kids. Our purpose as parents is to raise children who will become great adults. Therefore, the tight area, that the controlling area, the time that we really watch things, that we dictate things, is when they're very young. Okay? Because not only are we able to dictate to them because they're very young, but we're protecting them. We're watching very closely and remembering that our purpose is to raise a child who will be a great adult. So we don't look at this temper tantrum when they're 6 years old on an airplane. We don't look at this and go, he's just a kid. What we do, since our purpose is to raise a child who will become a great adult, what we look at that temper tantrum at a 6-year-old, we look at that and we say, how does that look on the first job? How does that look at 16 when this kid has a car and is by himself? How does that look in the boardroom? How does that look in the college dorm room? See, we start to look at behaviors, and that's where we get with them and we make sure. See, you hammer them when they're little. You mold them and shape them when they're moldable and shapeable. Take them when they're little and really work with them and insist and make sure and watch carefully. But then when they get to be about 10, 11, 12, then we back off a little bit and we're able to kind of watch and see what happens there and see that self-discipline start to take place. And then around 15, 16, 17, we should be able to just back off almost completely. We're there as a safety net, but we're watching, and we're still having a lot of conversations. But there's not a lot of, you will go to your room, you're grounded for a month. What in the world? What were you thinking? There's not a lot of that, okay? And because of that, we're able to relax. There's calm in our house. They love us. We're becoming more friends than we ever were. And we know we have prepared a young person to go out into the world as an adult. And when they go, they're sorry to leave us because they love us, respect us, and the relationship is great. Totally opposite from what most people think, but it works.